The Murder of Lauren Morris, the Unsolved Mystery of Spectacle Pond. In the heart of New England, where summer days often promise carefree joy and the future stretches bright before young lives, some stories veer tragically into the depths of a nightmare. Today, we delve into one such enduring sorrow, the unsolved murder of Lauren Morris. On a warm summer evening, July 19, 1988, a horrifying discovery was made in Cranston, Rhode Island. The body of 18-year-old Lauren Morris, a recent high school graduate with a promising future, was found in Spectacle Pond, brutally murdered. Her death sent shockwaves through her close-knit community and left an indelible scar on her grieving family. For over 3 decades, Lauren's case has remained a stubborn and heartbreaking enigma. Despite the relentless efforts of investigators, numerous leads, and the persistent hope of a family desperate for answers, her killer has never been definitively identified, never been brought to justice. This is a story of a vibrant life abruptly extinguished, a community left with unsettling questions, and an investigation that, despite early momentum, ultimately went cold. Join us as we meticulously recount Lauren Morris's final hours, explore the intricate and often frustrating path of the investigation, and confront the lingering questions that continue to echo in the chilling silence of an unsolved crime. Lauren Morris was born in Fall River, Massachusetts, but spent her entire childhood in the charming, historic town of Bristol, Rhode Island. By 1988, she was 18 years old, a recent high school graduate with a promising future filled with the typical aspirations and excitement of a young adult on the cusp of independence. Described by her teachers as someone who got along with everybody, and by friends as someone who laughed easily, Lauren was a positive and uplifting presence. She was known for her kindness, her ability to perk people up, and her genuine interest in helping others. She even led a brownie troupe where she made the young girls feel special and important. Her uncle fondly remembered that she just loved life. Academically, Lauren was bright and engaged. In March 1987, as a junior at Bristol High School, she demonstrated her keen intellect and scientific curiosity by entering the state science fair. Her project, titled Effects of Passive Smoking, was particularly insightful for its time. While the dangers of direct smoking were known, the public understanding of secondhand smoke was less developed. Lauren's project involved using medical equipment to measure vital signs and breath of participants, revealing that non-smokers exposed to secondhand smoke experienced higher pulse rates and significant levels of carbon monoxide. This award-winning project not only showcased her scientific aptitude, but also inspired her to quit smoking herself, a testament to her dedication to health and well-being. After graduating from Bristol High School in 1988, Lauren wasted no time in pursuing her educational and career goals. She had already enrolled in the Community College of Rhode Island's Respiratory Therapy program. CCRI, located in Lincoln, Rhode Island, about 35 minutes north of her home in Bristol, offered a path to a medical career, a field where she could continue her passion for helping others. She lived in a modest 3-bedroom home on a quiet residential street in Bristol with her mother and her 12-year-old sister, Patrice. Patrice looked up to her older sister, describing her as the most beautiful girl in the world. The two sisters shared a bedroom, and Patrice recalled how Lauren would humorously stuff everything under her bed whenever their mother hounded them to clean. After her parents' divorce, Lauren and her mother had developed an especially close bond. They relied on each other so much that whenever the song Lean on Me played on the radio, Lauren would playfully tell her mother, "Cheer up, Mom, our song is playing." Her life, marked by warmth, ambition, and a caring spirit, was on a clear trajectory. She was building a future, nurturing her relationships, and embracing the optimism that comes with young adulthood. No one could have predicted the sudden, brutal end that awaited her, transforming a promising summer day into an enduring nightmare. The day that would ultimately lead to tragedy began on Tuesday, July 19, 1988. Lauren had planned a seemingly mundane but important errand. She needed to make a down payment on a vehicle she intended to purchase that day. To do so, she borrowed her mother's beige 1985 Pontiac. Her journey began in Bristol. She took a RIP-to-bus to Providence, the state capital, where she met her mother to pick up the car. This was a common arrangement, part of their close-knit dynamic. After obtaining the car, Lauren's next stop was the Rhode Island Employees Credit Union on Francis Street in Providence. At approximately 3 p.m., she was seen withdrawing cash for the down payment. This 3 p.m. sighting at the bank marks the last confirmed time Lauren Morris was seen alive. She was expected to return the car to her mother at work by 4 p.m. that afternoon. It was a narrow window of time, just about an hour, during which her life would be irrevocably altered. As 4 p.m. passed with no sign of Lauren or the car, her mother's concern grew. Attempts to reach Lauren were unanswered. The initial worry quickly escalated to alarm, and by later that evening, Lauren Morris was reported missing to the Bristol Police Department. Meanwhile, around 11 p.m. that same night, July 19th, a Cranston police officer on routine patrol made a disturbing discovery. He came across an abandoned car in the breakdown lane of Route 10 in Cranston, a city neighboring Providence. The car, a beige 1985 Pontiac, matched the description of the vehicle Lauren had borrowed from her mother. What the officer found inside the car immediately suggested something was terribly wrong. There was a significant pool of blood on the passenger side floor, soaking deeply into the rug. Despite this unsettling evidence, the rest of the car appeared remarkably normal. Lauren's purse was still inside, containing her ID and about $50 in cash. Her shoes were placed neatly on the shore nearby. The presence of blood indicated foul play. The officer quickly secured the scene and initiated a search of the immediate vicinity, his instincts guiding him towards a deeper horror. Just beyond the guardrail, a short distance down the embankment, lay Spectacle Pond. It was there, floating in the water, that the officer made the devastating discovery. It was Lauren's body. She was face down in the pond, with a tire wrapped chillingly around her torso. She was nearly nude, only wearing a bra with a broken strap that had been pushed up. Her form-fitting jeans had been removed, but still clung to one ankle. She was still wearing her everyday jewelry, a watch, chain necklaces, rings on both hands, and earrings. This suggested a swift, violent attack, where the killer had gone lengths to remove her clothing and weigh her down. The discovery of her body confirmed the worst fears. Lauren Morris, a young woman full of life and dreams, had been brutally murdered. The scene in the car, coupled with the state of her body, indicated a violent struggle. Pink buttons, ripped from her shirt, were found within the vehicle, providing further evidence of a fierce fight for her life. It seemed highly likely she had been sexually assaulted. The Cranston Police Department, in conjunction with the Rhode Island State Police and the Attorney General's office, immediately launched a full-scale homicide investigation. The discovery of Lauren's body in Spectacle Pond, just hours after her car was found, injected a chilling urgency into the case. The crime scene was meticulously processed, both at the pond and the abandoned car, as investigators desperately sought clues to identify her killer. The autopsy findings provided critical, albeit harrowing, details about Lauren's final moments. The medical examiner ruled that the primary cause of death was drowning, as water was found in her lungs, but the autopsy also revealed that Lauren had been hit on the back of the head several times with a blunt object. These blows were not fatal, but they were the source of the significant blood stain found on the passenger side floorboards of her mother's car. This indicated that the initial attack likely began inside the vehicle. Based on the evidence in the car and the autopsy results, police began to construct a grim timeline and scenario. Detective Robert Santagata, a lead investigator on the case, believed that something significant occurred in the vehicle between Lauren and whoever was with her, leading to the brutal assault. The location of the blood stain in the car suggested that Lauren wasn't driving, she was in the passenger seat. Investigators theorized that she was struck over the head, possibly knocked unconscious, and then perhaps she briefly regained consciousness, causing the assailant to pull the car over to the side of Route 10 by Spectacle Pond. It was then, while she was either still unconscious or disoriented, that she was dragged out of the car, stripped, weighed down with a tire, and thrown into the pond to drown. The immediate aftermath of the discovery saw an intensive investigative effort. Detectives interviewed a vast number of individuals, including known criminals and suspicious men in the area, leading to a broad list of potential suspects. Over 50 people were interviewed, and approximately 25 individuals underwent polygraph examinations. In some instances, even hypnosis was utilized in an attempt to retrieve suppressed memories from witnesses. The police gathered statements, collected physical evidence, and chased down every tip that came into the station. They focused on anyone who might have had contact with Lauren that day, anyone who frequented the area around Spectacle Pond, or anyone with a history of similar violent offenses. They were under immense pressure from the public and the grieving family to quickly apprehend the perpetrator of such a heinous crime against a beloved young woman. Despite this early momentum and the exhaustive efforts, the initial leads, one by one, failed to lead to a definitive suspect or an arrest. The evidence, while crucial in detailing the crime, wasn't enough to point definitively to a specific individual. The investigation, which began with such intensity, slowly, agonizingly, began to lose its heat. The trail, once fresh, began to grow cold, leaving there behind a profound trail of questions and a community still reeling from the shock. As the weeks turned into months, and then years, the initial flurry of activity around Lauren Morse's murder began to wane. Without a definitive suspect or the crucial breakthrough needed for an arrest, the case slowly transitioned into the grim category of an unsolved homicide or cold case. The files, once handled daily, were now stored, periodically reviewed by new generations of detectives, hoping a fresh pair of eyes or new technology might unearth a hidden clue. The 1980s presented significant challenges for forensic investigations compared to today. While fingerprinting and blood typing were available, DNA analysis as we know it was still in its infancy. Any biological evidence collected from Lauren's body or the car, such as hair, skin cells, or seminal fluid, could not be fully exploited for individual identification in the way modern DNA profiling allows. This meant that unless a suspect confessed, was directly witnessed, or left behind a traditional identifiable fingerprint, the path to linking them directly to the crime was incredibly difficult. Over the decades, Lauren's family, particularly her mother and sister Patrice, never stopped fighting for justice. They kept Lauren's memory alive, ensuring that her case was not forgotten. They navigated the agonizing reality of living with an unsolved murder, a constant ache and a persistent question mark hanging over their lives. Every anniversary of Lauren's death, every holiday, served as a painful reminder of her absence and the injustice she suffered. In recent years, the landscape of cold case investigations has been dramatically transformed by advancements in forensic science, especially DNA technology. Techniques like forensic genealogical genealogy, which compares unknown DNA profiles from crime scenes to public genealogical databases, have become powerful tools for solving decades-old cases. This has given renewed hope to families of cold case victims across the nation. It is highly likely that investigators in Rhode Island have revisited Lauren Morse's case with these modern capabilities. Any biological evidence from the original investigation would have been sent to state-of-the-art labs for retesting. Even minute or degraded samples, which were useless in 1988, might now yield a full DNA profile of the perpetrator. If a DNA profile exists, it could then be uploaded to genealogical databases, potentially leading to a familial match and, eventually, to the killer. The Cranston Police Department and the Rhode Island Attorney General's Office continue to list Lauren Morse's murder as an active cold case. They have publicly maintained their commitment to solving it, periodically issuing renewed calls for public assistance. Detective Robert Santagata, who has worked on the case, has often expressed the belief that someone out there knows something crucial, a detail they may have held onto for years, perhaps out of fear, loyalty, or simply believing it to be insignificant. The passage of time, while making some aspects of an investigation harder, can also create new opportunities. Witness allegiances can change, consciences can be stirred, and individuals who were once too afraid to speak may now feel compelled to come forward. The hope is that new scientific capabilities, combined with a fresh perspective or a critical tip from the public, could finally provide the breakthrough needed to solve Lauren's case.
The enduring nature of Lauren Morse's unsolved murder carries a profound human cost. It extends far beyond the police reports and forensic analyses, reaching into the very fabric of a family and a community. Lauren was not merely a statistic. She was a bright, caring, and beloved young woman whose vibrant future was brutally snatched away. The ripple effect of her death has reverberated through generations, leaving an indelible mark on all who knew her. For her mother and sister, Patrice, the absence of answers is a constant, gnawing torment. The inability to fully process their grief, to comprehend the why, and to see justice delivered creates a unique and prolonged form of suffering. Every family gathering, every holiday, every ordinary day is shadowed by the painful awareness that Lauren's killer walks free. They are forced to live not only with the unbearable void of her loss, but with the phantom presence of her assailant, an unknown entity that continues to evade accountability. This pervasive uncertainty impacts every facet of their lives, from their emotional well-being to their fundamental sense of security in the world. The community of Bristol and Cranston also carries the burden of such an unsolved crime. An unknown killer remaining at large for decades breeds a subtle yet persistent undercurrent of unease. It erodes the fundamental sense of safety that individuals expect in their homes and neighborhoods. When a case remains cold for so long, it can also unfortunately lead to speculation, rumor, and for some, a wavering faith in the justice system, even when dedicated investigators are exhausting every possible avenue within their power. Lauren's case serves as a poignant reminder of several critical aspects of cold case investigations. It powerfully underscores the vital importance of meticulously preserving physical evidence for decades, even when the technology to fully exploit it is not yet available. It champions the unwavering dedication of cold case detectives, who often work tirelessly and quietly behind the scenes, driven by an unshakable commitment to victims and their families, long after the initial media frenzy and public attention have subsided. And perhaps most importantly, it emphasizes the indispensable and often underestimated role of the public. Even the smallest piece of information, a fleeting memory, a suspicion that was once dismissed, a conversation overheard years ago, could be the crucial missing key to unlocking a breakthrough. The relentless passage of time, while it can erode memories and obscure details, can also paradoxically create new opportunities for justice. Relationships between those involved in a crime can shift, loyalties can fracture, and individuals who were once too afraid or unwilling to speak might now feel compelled to come forward. The unbearable burden of a hidden truth can weigh heavily on a conscience, eventually breaking through decades of silence. With each passing year, the possibility of a new confession, a new witness, or a new technological advancement keeps the hope alive. To this day, the Cranston Police Department and the Rhode Island Attorney General's Office maintain their unwavering commitment to Lauren Morris's case. They provide dedicated hotlines and anonymous tip lines for anyone who might possess information. This is not merely a file in a police cabinet. It is a human life, a family's ongoing tragedy, and a community's persistent question. The detectives who work this case carry the weight of this unsolved mystery daily, driven by the profound hope that one day they will finally be able to deliver the answers and the peace that Lauren's family so desperately deserves. Lauren Morris's story is a heartbreaking but powerful testament that while crime can take a life, it can never truly erase the memory or silence the relentless demand for justice. Her vibrant spirit lives on in the hearts of those who loved her, and in the persistent, unwavering pursuit of truth that echoes across the decades. May her case, like so many other cold cases that have recently found resolution, finally find its closure. The tragic and heartbreakingly unsolved murder of Lauren Morris remains a poignant testament to the complex, agonizing nature of cold case investigations. It is a story woven with threads of enduring grief, the slow march of scientific progress, and the relentless, unyielding pursuit of justice against the formidable adversary of time. For over 35 years, her family has carried this immeasurable burden of the unknown. Now, more than ever, with groundbreaking advancements in forensic technology and the unwavering dedication of law enforcement agencies, the hope for answers in cold cases burns brighter. If you or someone you know possess any information, no matter how small or insignificant it may seem after all these years, regarding the murder of Lauren Morris, please, we implore you to consider coming forward. Every piece of information truly matters. Every tip could be the crucial missing link. Your courageous contribution could be the key to finally bringing profound closure to Lauren's family and ensuring her killer is held accountable after all these agonizing decades. Please contact Detective Robert Santagata of the Cranston Police Department at 410-477-5169 or submit a tip to the Rhode Island Attorney General's Cold Case Unit at 410-468-2233. Information can also be provided anonymously. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into one of New England's most enduring and heartbreaking unsolved mysteries. What are your thoughts on the Lauren Morris case? Share your perspectives and theories respectfully in the comments section below. Your engagement helps keep these stories alive and the persistent search for justice ongoing. Until next time, stay vigilant and may justice be served.